I wanted to update you on last show, so episode 6. We talked about how Uber was getting in trouble because they were following you after they dropped you off, essentially. They were still tracking you. What's funny is a day later, I got a push notification on my phone saying, Uber is currently tracking you in the background. Do you want to accept this? And I said no. But something must have happened after that article came out. Maybe some, like you said, a legal standpoint. Someone said, hey, if you don't let everybody know you're doing this, we're going to sue you. And they did that push notification, I think, to almost everybody that had the Uber app on their phone. So that was interesting and a quick update. But now, I think one of the reasons that they were doing that is Uber is completely revamping the way you set your destination. Now, instead of saying I want to go to an address, you can say I want to go where Brett Regan is. So if you're moving down, downtown or you're bar hopping or what have you, I can tell the Uber to follow you essentially. So within the 5 minute, if you go from one bar to another, it's going to know that, and it's going to drive down the block a little bit more. So now it's going from point A to point B. It sounds like you're going to have to accept it. Like David wants to know your location. Can he follow you in order to get to you? And then you could say, okay. But essentially, you're going to be able to open up all your contacts. And instead of an address, you can say, go wherever Brett is right now.
Yeah. Now it's interesting, but it makes me wonder, too, how many other apps are doing something similar. It seems like every time I go onto Google, I have to allow location services.
Yep.
But if I'm leaving that up in the background, because sometimes I'll go and look and I've got, 4 tabs open that have been for weeks.
Yep.
Are they still able to track location the entire time? Could they, give that information to retailers to say like, oh, he's going to the mall or he's going to these different places? So I would assume that a lot that apps that already track location, if you keep them up, and I do oftentimes just because I forget about it, or at least for a day or so, that maybe those are doing the same thing, and it's not that uncommon.
I do feel like as a society, too, like people have just given up their rights in a way, their privacy. They don't care as much anymore. Like you mentioned before, the whole thumbprint on your iPhone. I mean, people just want to have things easier and more convenient, and they're willing to give up their privacy for that. So that's just becoming a more norm, maybe different than 50 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I guess, there's a lot of people that think about, the government getting all this information.
Sure.
And people are very suspicious if the government came and said, hey, we've got this thing, and you can put your thumbprint.
Well, think about like when you go to
no.
CVS and they want your phone number every time. What do you think they're doing with that information? Now they know for the last 3 years what you've bought, so then they can have coupons for those certain things, or they can sell that to third parties and say, whatever, Brett's buying Gillette razors every 2 months, so Gillette's going to try to go after you and add them to your list and have your phone number and information. So,
but if you want to save $13.86 today, you
people do it.
Yep.